If you've been playing Destiny Rising over the last few weeks, then you've likely already finished the story up and are looking for the next big thing to accomplish in the game. While the story's over, it's far from the end of things to do in Destiny Rising, so today, here's a brief breakdown of what comes next: artifacts, Acclaim, and the Endgame. Hey there, party people. This has been a rather big week for Destiny Rising, between raids being launched, Sherpas being done, exotics being farmed, and characters being built out, but I'd say most people have about arrived at the endgame for Destiny Rising. If you haven't, that's okay. You can still watch this video because eventually it'll pertain to you. The campaign is fine and all, and being kept within the story's constraints is good, but once you finish the final chapter and claim your last reward in your book, you'll find yourself suddenly thrust into the next chapter with really no true in-game guide on what to do next or how to accomplish it in your face the way it was with the original guide. So if you've seen any of my other videos, you may be well aware that Pinnacle Energy is a major resource that's going to ferry you through the in-game and resource collection. From my first video to now, I've always harped on and on about being cautious with resources, and this is the moment that is exactly why I've been that way. Let's start with the Acclaim system. The Acclaim system was around during the beta and functioned similarly, but was much more simplified back then. Achieving an Acclaim rank was enough to grant you specific passive boosts and functions in the beta, so leveling your equipment and characters granted those passive boosts, but that's not the case here. In the full release, they've made a crucial change that will dictate how you approach and engage with the Acclaim system: character tokens. Character tokens are broken into 3 classes: bronze, silver, and gold. Characters by default will be unranked, but if you've been putting resources into characters like I had with Gwen, Ningfei, Tantu, and Wolf, then the odds are you should start off pretty close to having a bronze rank character already. The max Acclaim rank is currently 18 for the next 7 days until well into Season 1, and to hit that rank is going to require quite a bit of grind. Acclaim is gained by leveling characters up, specifically their weapons, artifacts, and relics, and using them in in-game content such as legendary campaign missions and Grandmaster activities when those launch. In addition, collecting weapons from various foundries will also help you level Acclaim, as well as upgrading the weapon's origin perks. Acclaim is directly tied to the endgame, as raising your Acclaim unlocks the ability to cash in character tokens to unlock passive perks such as increased daily Iron Commander grants, increased exotic artifact drops, and increased exotic weapon mod drops. Speaking of artifacts and mods, the real chase of endgame belongs to guns, mods, and artifacts. Exotic tier artifacts are split into 3 elemental categories, and only characters of those elements can equip those specific artifacts. That having been said, you can equip 4 exotic artifacts simultaneously if you want, so long as you have them. You can attain exotic artifacts from random drop chance and Singularity Chaos, as well as through choice grants in the Expanse, and 1 grant from the Battle Pass at level 40. Exotic artifacts have their own currencies required to max them out, which are available from Pinnacle looted runs on Chaos Ladders and Singularity Chaos. The artifacts themselves have a drop chance from both the basic rewards as well as Pinnacle looted rewards, so you can continue to chase them even after your energy is spent. Exotic mods will be available to earn from challenge chests and Pinnacle rewards in the Master Activities section of the adventure game modes. Challenge chests require challenge keys to loot, but they have a high chance of dropping mods and upgrade materials for those mods, as well as legendary and mythic mods as well. You can also attain exotic weapon mods from Pinnacle looted runs of Strikes, Calamity Ops, and Gauntlet Blitz, but the Master Activities is the best method. The thing about the Master Mode character selector, though, is that characters that can be used are limited to a specific pool of characters, and they must be higher than 50,350 power. But the challenge keys are the most reliable source of attaining those mods, so when you have the keys and characters who meet the requirements and have energy available, make sure to prioritize them. And by the way, each character gains 1 energy to run master activities per day by default, so you can use a character once in a master activity essentially. Additionally, a new currency for leveling up mythic and higher level mods called Topological Astatine will be needed to be acquired, and has 2 main sources of acquisition essentially: breaking down mythic weapon mods, and 3 daily Pinnacle looted runs of Morgan's Prey if you select the mod refinement material as your wish item. Weapons are another chase to pursue in the endgame, specifically mythic and exotic weapons. Mythics are available from just about every activity in the game exempting Legacy, Even on the most basic tracks, there's a chance to at least earn mythics. You can even catch some while fishing, like I did. So, yeah. There are 26 different mythic weapons from 4 different foundries to collect, and each gun has 9 random rolled perks in each perk column, 3 rare, 3 legendary, and 3 mythic. The chase for these weapons lies in the mythic perks, specifically double mythic perks. Guns with double mythic perks are significantly stronger than other weapons and are the big chase in terms of available god roll weapons. They aren't always the strongest perks by effect though, as some legendary perks like the legendary Nito Ryu pair extremely well with the mythic perks like Allocation Vector. But, for the sake of leveling, it's important to target at least one double mythic perk weapon per slot. Upgrade materials required for working on weapons are only attainable from Pinnacle Energy looted runs of Strikes, Calamity Ops, Gauntlet Ops, Blitz, and Challenge Mode Master activities, so plan accordingly. It's nice to have backup weapons, but try to stick to one weapon set per character at first until you have more resources available, as the only way to attain these materials is from the Pinnacle Energy loot in these activities, which means if you don't have any energy left, you won't have any materials until you have energy again. This can present a roadblock in your leveling journey, so it's pretty important to pay close attention to your resource allocation. Next up is exotic weapons. In total, there are 20 exotics to collect. Once you get the exotics, you'll unlock them in collections, furthering your Acclaim score. But it doesn't end there. Maxing out exotic weapon levels will require Mythic Infusion Cores and Luminites, which are available from the same sources we covered earlier, but they don't have access to the weapon mod system. In its place, exotics have their own under the Exotic Refinement tab in the weapon modification screen, with its own currency requirements. The items you'll need are exotic catalysts, exotic infusion cores, and superposed photons, all of which are only currently available from completing the legendary campaign missions and using Pinnacle Energy to loot the final chest. 3 times a week, the loot will be boosted, and the first completion meeting strict time constraints will reward additional rewards like exotic weapon parameters, contextual datasets, and mythic weapon parameters. Part of the endgame focus is going to really lean into your synthesize screen to produce what you need, as it's the best way to guarantee things like mythic weapon drops, exotic weapons, and exotic catalysts. The prices vary, but a lot of the time you'll passively collect mythic weapon parameters from pretty much all activities, including basic rewards, which can then be synthesized into mythic weapon choice engrams to hyper-focus specific weapons and target those coveted god roll double mythic perk roll weapons. The same can be said about exotics. Both mythic and exotic engrams come in 5 different types, and depending on the weapon pool you're trying to pull from, one may be better than the other. For mythic weapons, I recommend the choice engram. It costs extra, but when focusing the weapon, you want it significantly better than trying to pull it from the available random pool. The downside is that you can't focus any weapons you don't already own, so my advice is to focus random weapon engrams first containing weapons that you don't have, and then transition to focusing choice engrams almost exclusively. They will have an escalating cost, so that is something to be aware of, but it takes a little while to hit that cap. For exotic weapons, there are 3 main categories: Adventurer, Strikes, and Gauntlet Blitz. Each of these costs 30 exotic weapon parameters to make, and the exotic you receive are randomized from those loot pools. The last 2 are the exotic weapon engram, which is used to acquire another copy of an already acquired exotic weapon, and the Gauntlet Onslaught engram, which is used to acquire another copy of one of the 3 already attained Gauntlet Blitz exclusive exotic weapons. But if you've got the weapon already, why in the world would you want it again? Well, that leads into the final piece of the weapon chase, catalyst upgrades. Each weapon catalyst can be upgraded to level 3. The first node is unlocked by synthesizing an exotic catalyst from contextual datasets, but the second and third nodes will require additional copies of the weapon. 3 additional copies to be exact. Node 2 will require 40 infusion cores and 1 additional copy of the weapon, while Node 3 will require 100 infusion cores, 2 superposed photons, and 2 copies of the weapon. This sort of works in a similar method to weapon upgrades and other gachas, but due to the free nature of the weapons in Destiny Rising, a material cost has been levied. Exotic catalyst upgrades are pretty crazy in general and typically really offer a substantial boost to the weapon. The Octant Riot Dispenser, for example, gains ramping damage boosts with its C2, while its C3 gives Dual Loader, which makes the weapon reload 2 shells at a time, massively bumping the reload speed for the weapon. Its biggest drawback by design is its long reload speed, so having the catalyst address that glaring weakness is a huge positive that makes the effort of grinding out duplicates completely worth it. The only drawback currently is that you must be Acclaim 10 to unlock the second catalyst node and Acclaim 20 to unlock the third. The availability of materials will also make this a difficult chase, so try to save up some materials ahead of time so that when you're ready, you've already got what you need. That covers artifacts, Acclaim, weapon mods, and weapons themselves, so next let's talk about relics and character boosts. The launch of Season 1 will see some of this change, but as of now, team levels and weapons are locked at 80. Increasing your artifact level is the last major driver of your character's power level. Your artifact abilities are split into 3 abilities: Signature 1, Signature 2, and Super. Each of those can be leveled up to 18 maximum once you reach Acclaim 15, but will require a number of rare resources, namely incandescent clusters, which are limited and only available from Calamity Ops. In addition, characters each have 3 relic traits to unlock, costing incandescence ribbons and crackling incandescence ribbons, which are available from Legacy mode and a number of other places, as well as a single incandescence cluster for trait 3. Each character also has a weapon mastery skill that is levelable up to 5 and requires various resources, including incandescent tufts, ribbons, crackling ribbons, and elemental type fruits. The type fruits come in 3 types, each from one of the elements, and are available from pinnacle looted runs of Singularity Chaos, golden chests in Singularity Order, and the Expanse, with the final level requiring incandescent clusters as well, though you'll need to be Acclaim level 25 to finish the weapon mastery tree. Once you've leveled all of those things, your character abilities are officially done and your focus can shift elsewhere. The last thing I need to address is the artifact gilding system. Your artifact is assigned a tier level based on the sum of the equipped artifact attributes. In addition, there's a 22 node gilding level that operates exclusively on elemental fruits to activate. There are 15 basic nodes split into 3 sections, each requiring a different fruit type, culminating into 3 combined 2-node branches requiring a mixture of 2 different fruits, as well as a new material called artifactual clusters available only from the seasonal track of the Expanse, meaning they're unavailable until September 11th. The final node is located in the dead center, requiring all fruits and more artifactual clusters to finish. The last node unlocks at Acclaim level 20. The branches offer passive boosts to health, shield, and defense, but have an escalating cost in terms of fruit until you reach the middle branch. In the future, to gold medal your characters, you'll need to be gilding level 21, which is pretty much every branch except the center one. And to get out of bronze, you'll need to at least be gilding level 9. All of this to say, stockpiling resources and spending pinnacle energy wisely is a big part of the endgame. You're essentially voluntold to focus on a minimum of 3 characters, since the requirement to pass Acclaim level 10 is to have 3 bronze level characters, and to pass 15 requires 3 silver characters. But unless you've been trying to level every character and wasting resources, you should be theoretically okay. If not, you'll just have to take it a day at a time, as your pinnacle energy allows, until you have what you need. As of this morning, for example, I was locked out of making my 3rd focused character Wolf Silver because I didn't have the materials to upgrade his weapons to plus 10 each. I could have artifact farmed for exotics, but even that wouldn't likely have been enough to put him over the edge. With no pinnacle energy, I found myself stuck awaiting the daily refresh to finish things off. And you may find yourself in the same place. Just know that that's okay. It's a sprint, not a marathon. It's worth mentioning that you can buy additional energy in the store using either a subscription to Pandora's Deals, Straight Silver, or Lumina Leaves, but the cost for 24 hours worth of energy essentially boils down to 2 pools worth of leaves or $5 worth of silver, which may sound worth it, but it's really honestly not. The subscription pack isn't terrible and may be worth considering for low spenders, as it also grants you challenge chest keys as well as reserve energy, but that at a maximum is pretty much all I can recommend. If you're a free-to-play player, this could be a hurdle for you, so make sure to stay clear and be smart with your investment. The rest is up to your personal decision making. A lot of things will expand with the launch of Season 1 on September 11th, and I'll have a separate video about those incoming changes dropping sometime around September 10th, but until then, I hope this has given you a little bit of insight into the endgame of Destiny Rising, the gear chase post-campaign, and character building. I'm planning on getting a bit more specific in some future character build videos, but before I do that, there's a lot more testing I have to do. But I hope to have my first few build videos eventually up, particularly on one on Gwyn. So, anyways, good luck in the endgame out there, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks for joining me. Have a good one.